I am Santiago del Carmen Maria, the queen of crowning thoughts.
Economy on fire. Why working folks are paying the price while leaders live large. Folks, let's get real about what's happening in our country right now. We're in the middle of an economic mess that's hitting everyday people like you and me harder than ever before. Prices are skyrocketing for everything from rent to groceries, and yet some leaders are out there acting like it's no big deal. They tell us we're making too much money, as if that's the problem. But hold on, let's break this down step by step so everyone can see the full picture. This isn't just about numbers on a page. It's about families struggling to keep the lights on, parents skipping meals so their kids can eat, and a system that seems rigged against the average American. First off, think about housing. A simple studio apartment these days can cost anywhere from $1,500 to $2,600 a month, depending on where you live. That's not pocket change. That's a huge chunk of your paycheck gone before you even buy food or gas. Imagine working 2 jobs, putting in long hours, and still barely scraping by to afford a tiny place to call home. This isn't some rare story. It's happening in cities and towns across the nation. Inflation has driven rents through the roof because wages haven't kept up. While corporations and landlords rake in record profits, families are forced to double up or face eviction. And when leaders claim we're overpaid, that's like pouring salt on an open wound. It ignores the reality that minimum wage in many places hasn't budged much in years, while the cost of living has exploded. Now, let's talk groceries because that's where it really stings. Picture this. You head to the store for basics like 1 steak and 2 chickens, and the bill comes to $100 or more. That's not exaggeration, that's what folks are seeing at checkout lines everywhere. Meat, eggs, milk, everything's up. Supply chain issues, corporate greed, and global events have all played a part, but the end result is the same. Your dollar doesn't stretch as far. Families are cutting back, choosing cheaper options, or sometimes going without. And in the midst of this, we have the former president, yes, the one tied to that whole MAGA movement, daring to lecture us on how to shop. He suggests buying just 1 leaf of broccoli, 1 chicken breast, 1 potato, and maybe something else small. Seriously. That's supposed to feed a person for a day, let alone a family. What about the rest of the month? Are we expected to starve for the other 29 days? Let me explain why this advice feels so out of touch and insulting. This isn't coming from someone who's ever had to stretch a food stamp or count pennies at the register. This is from a billionaire who eats whatever he wants whenever he wants, all while taxpayers foot the bill for his lifestyle. Think lavish dinners, private jets, and security details that cost millions. It's hypocrisy at its finest. While he's golfing at exclusive resorts, regular Americans are deciding between paying the electric bill or buying enough food to last the week. His words aren't helpful guidance. They're a slap in the face to hardworking people who built this country. They show a complete disconnect from the struggles of the working class, the very folks who keep the economy running through their labor and taxes. But it gets worse when you zoom out and look at the bigger picture. This economic squeeze isn't accidental. It's the result of policies that favor the wealthy and big businesses over everyone else. Tax cuts for the ultra-rich, deregulation that lets corporations price gouge, and a refusal to raise the federal minimum wage have all contributed to this gap. The MAGA crowd pushes this narrative that we're all just complaining too much, that the economy was great under their watch. But let's be honest, for who? Stock markets boomed for investors, but wages stagnated for workers. Unemployment might have looked low on paper, but many jobs were low-paying gigs without benefits. Now, with inflation lingering from pandemic fallout and global tensions, the pain is real. Gas prices fluctuate wildly, utility bills climb, and healthcare costs remain a nightmare for millions without adequate coverage. Here's where it turns personal. We've reached a point where enough is enough. It's time to step away from a system that treats us like second-class citizens. We didn't create these leaders, they work for us, or at least they're supposed to. But too often, they act like overlords, dictating from their ivory towers while we foot the bill. Remember, our tax dollars pay for their salaries, their perks, and even their mistakes. Yet, when we need relief, like affordable housing programs, better food assistance, or fair wages, they turn a blind eye or blame us for the problems. This is why we need to stand tall and use our rights, the ones protected by the Constitution, like the right to bear arms for self-defense and the right to assemble and speak out. I'm not talking about chaos. I'm talking about organized, peaceful resistance. Vote in every election. Support candidates who fight for working families. Join community groups that push for change and hold leaders accountable. We've built this nation through our sweat and determination, immigrants, laborers, teachers, nurses, truck drivers. We made them powerful, not the other way around. It's time to remind them of that by turning our backs on failed policies and building something better from the ground up. Think about historical moments when people rose up. During the Great Depression, folks demanded change through unions and protests, leading to social security and labor laws that protected workers. In the civil rights era, ordinary citizens marched for equality, changing the course of history. Today, we face our own crisis, an economy that enriches the few while starving the many. By standing united, we can demand policies like raising the minimum wage to a living standard, capping rent increases, and ensuring affordable groceries through better regulations on big food companies. Don't let anyone gaslight you into thinking this is normal or that you're asking for too much. You're not. A fair shot at the American dream means being able to afford a roof over your head, food on the table, and a future for your kids without constant fear of falling behind. Leaders who dismiss these struggles aren't leading, they're failing, and that former president with his MAGA rhetoric embodies this failure. His advice isn't wisdom, it's a distraction from the real issues he helped create or ignored. So what's the call to action here? Start small but think big. Talk to your neighbors about these issues. Support local businesses over corporate giants. Advocate for change by contacting your representatives. And most importantly, vote against the policies that keep us down. We have the power to fetch for ourselves, to create community gardens for fresh food, mutual aid networks for support, and grassroots movements for justice. It's time to depart from blind loyalty to a broken system and build one that works for all of us. In closing, remember, we're stronger together. This economic hardship isn't your fault, it's a symptom of priorities gone wrong. But change starts with awareness and action. Stand up, speak out, and let's reclaim what's ours. If this message spoke to you, even just a little, stay connected with me by following. Your support truly matters more than you realize, and every moment you take to listen is deeply appreciated. Please leave a like on this video and share your thoughts in the comments after hearing the story. Follow and subscribe so you never miss what comes next. Your support keeps the space alive. It costs nothing, yet it means everything to me. Showing love through engagement helps me continue creating, speaking truth, and showing up consistently. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for listening, for supporting, and for standing with me. Crowning Thoughts True Speaker Copyright 2025 by Santiago D.C. Maria, licensed under Creative Commons Attribution.